Testing 1 2, testing 1 2, testing 1 2. Peace to the God bodies, peace to the God bodies. We're not going to let a lot of people wait till a lot of people come in, but I'm going to give it a couple of seconds while I set things up. Hopefully you guys can hear me. If you can hear me in the chat, let me know. This lecture won't be forever, but if you can hear me, if you're coming in, please just put a comment. Let me know where you're from. Holla Vegeta, peace. Okay. Can you hear me? Let me know you can hear me in the comment section. And let me pull this up here. Bear with me. Y'all know how to. Those of you who have been following me, we're going to talk about this full moon. This intense full moon, this intense lunar eclipse coming up Thursday. We're going to go into some factuals as we always do and get this started. I'm going to try to knock this one out quick. If you are in the chat, I do appreciate you. Thank you for your viewership. Thank you for your time. And let's do this. Give me 1 second. Here, let me turn this down. Loud and clear. Peace, Frisco, California. Okay, how Vegeta? We going in. All right. Yeah, I know it's early out there in California. Still, in New York City, where I am, it's like 11:30. But I'm charged up, man. This full moon got me geeked up, as they say. I'm lit. You know what I'm saying? I'm lit. But I'm not gonna stay here too long. Let me get up out of here. Hold on. So the Yay area. Yeah, the Bay. I used to live in Vallejo back in the day. Vallejo, California. Bay Area is a beautiful place. Beautiful place. All right, let me just get this together, family. Y'all know I got slides, receipts, or whatever y'all want to call it, whatever y'all kids call it nowadays, you know. And yeah, we're gonna get into this full moon, this lunar eclipse. All right, here I am. Here I go. All right. Beautiful place. Turn this down. If you are here, please hit the like button. I appreciate it for the algorithm. Let people know I'm here. Let people know I'm alive. Let people know I'm snap, crackling, and popping. You know. And yeah, we're gonna talk about this new moon lunar eclipse. Very intense time. The energy is very intense right now. If you guys have been following me, if you guys have been doing the work of meditation, if you guys have been doing the work, as I've been talking about my last, I think, 3 recent videos of going in and facing your fears, if you guys have been doing the work at looking at yourself and working on polishing your flaws, polishing whatever you think your character, I don't like to say defects because they're not really defects, but really dealing with whatever your childhood trauma and your childhood challenges are, right? You should be seeing a lot of changes. I know I've had certain things come up, minor things that have tested what I've been working on. And I must say I've been very successful at what I've tried to do. So I kind of started this because I was like, if I don't start it now, I'm just gonna go to bed. And I'm just going to shower and go to bed. So I said, nah, let me get this done because I want to get it done today. I didn't want to wait till Thursday. So I got some gems for y'all. I think y'all going to like. I think that they're going to benefit you. Some spell work y'all could do. Just a little bit about some recent things that's been going on. And let's just get it started. Why waste time, right? Peace to y'all who are here. And let's go. So y'all know I like to, lately I've just been bringing receipts. So this way you guys could see what's going on. I was raised by the gods in the nation of gods and earths. So they always told us God show and prove. So I'm going to use this particular platform to show and prove. So let me get my share screen on and we will get started. Actually, oh, they got it. All right. Yeah, let's do this. So let's do this. No, this isn't what I wanted to do. Hold on. Shout out to y'all who are here though. Oh, let's do this. Let me see how this works. This one. This isn't really what I wanted to do like this, but we'll do it like this. All right. So we're in the Scorpio season. I touched on this last video. I'm not going to really hang on to there too much. The main thing I want you to see is transform. Okay. So we're in Scorpio. The sun is in Scorpio. In this particular season, it's all about transformation. Scorpio is about death, sexuality, and transformation. We know sex is a form of transformation coming from, basically you're coming from being a starseed out in the universe. The Dogon called us the Nomo, basically fish. If you look at your sperm is called, well, the males, obviously, looking at sperm is called semen, right? You're in the Milky Way galaxy, right? Semen looks milky, right? So therefore, we are star seeds, right? And we come into this earth. So we are reborn, we are transforming. And this particular season is about rebirth. It's about transforming. Even if you look at the Scorpio, right? And the particular symbol, you see it has a tail, just like the sperm has a tail, right? And so forth and so on. So just a little bit of significance to this. So the sun is in Scorpio, but the full moon, which is also going to be a lunar eclipse, which is going to take place this Friday. If you live in the East Coast, it is going to take place at 4:02, it says, but I'm going to go with 4:04, and I'm going to show you why in a second. So we're also going to go into Taurus, okay, because this particular full moon is in Taurus. So let's touch on Taurus a little bit. So Taurus symbol is the bull, okay? Ruling planet is Venus. Venus is the planet of love. House rule is the second, okay? It's dealing with the earth element, okay? So some interesting things happen on the earth element. If you're in my community section, we're gonna talk about it. And we're gonna talk about all these scorpions that washed up in Kemet, AKA Egypt, literally right on the Nile, okay? This is a fixed energy, fixed planet, okay? And the key word is to possess, okay? So the key word of Scorpio is to transform. The key word of Scorpio, key word of Scorpio is to transform. The key word of Taurus is to possess. So combined together, we don't want to say transform, possess, but we'll say possess, transformation, right? So this particular energy with the sun being a Scorpio and the moon being a Venus is about possessing the keys to transformation. Possessing the keys to change, possessing the keys to redevelop ourselves, to become reborn, to become renewed, to bring forth new energy, right? This is all about healing your childhood trauma, healing your issues in the past with your mom, with your dad, with your baby mama, with your baby daddy, fellas with the first girl that broke your heart in high school that you still haven't got over because that pain in your chest was so tight and those tears were so hard. You never want to experience that again. So you're just dogging girls out, right? Ladies, the same thing. All this men ain't shit. Men are dogs because the guys keep breaking your heart, or you met a guy that broke your heart so bad you can't forgive. This is about going within and facing these particular fears, possessing transformation, meaning you have the power. You have the power of this bullish type of energy to go through. Also, to go through whatever obstacle that you face, go through whatever fear that you face, go through whatever perceived limitation that you have. If you're shy, if you're too angry, if you are too laid back, you know, also, if you have vices, we're going to talk about vices. I'm going to give you a spell to help you, a candle spell. I'm going to give you 2 candle spells, one to help your abundance, the other one to help you fight off vices. Because I realized that a lot of us, including myself, right, there's a couple vices that I had to kick. And I'm going to talk about it briefly, but there's some vices I had to kick myself, or at least I'm going to say not kick, because you're not really kicking anything away, but really manage and see what is good for me and what's not good for me. But I'm going to also, actually kick some vices, you know what I'm saying? Get rid of some vices, because I can say I got rid of vice, you know, and, you know, seeing what it does. But this does take discipline. This test does take effort. The planet are not just going to magically do it for you. Okay. You're going to have to put in the effort. You're going to have to put in the work. You're going to have to put in the meditation. You're going to have to put in the observation, right? I'm going to give you some tools, but you got to go out with your hammer and your hard hat and your Tim boots, right? Shout out to the New Yorkers, the Tim boots, right? And you got to make something happen. So the ruling planet is Venus. This is about your self-love. Okay, this is what this full moon energy is, and this is a lunar eclipse. You know, they're calling it a partial lunar eclipse, but that's jive. We're gonna go into that. And jive meaning BS, right? For some of y'all youngsters who don't know what jive is, right? But we're going to go into a transformation period. Also, the numerology around this time is very interesting as well. All right. So this is about possessing, transformation. Taurus being possessing, Venus being transformation. Also, these two particular signs of Taurus and Venus are very, very compatible with each other. Okay. They go hand in hand. They are, you know, this is actually supposed to be a good couple, Taurus and Venus, right? I had a relationship with a Taurus myself. And it was one of my most life-transforming, life-altering relationships I've ever had. It was damaging. It hurt. You know, I went through some heartbreak, but the breaking of that heart opened up a new heart. It was literally like a snake, a Kundalini snake, a Naga snake shedding its skin. It was rough. It was tough, but God damn it, it was worth it. I wouldn't take back the experience for nothing, okay? So this is the type of energy that is here. Also, there's a lot of people that are not tuned into this type of thing. They have no idea about this full moon. They have no idea what's going on. All they know is that their energy is going to be heightened and they're in the depths of themselves. And a lot of these people out here, the depth of themselves is really full of hatred, full of anger, full of jealousy, full of rage, full of madness, right? Also, what they're going to be doing is they're going to be introducing, just as a sidebar, they're going to be introducing the new jabby jabs, right? They're going to be introducing the new booster shots, right? They're going to be introducing the new hokey pokies into the mainstream, right? They're going to do this on Thursday, knowing that it's the full moon. And if you look at when they do these introductions, these mandates, right? These introductions of these hokey pokey shots, they're always around celestial events. I'm not going to cover that now because that's not what this particular lecture is about. But I want you, if you're studious enough to look back and go back, you'll see that they always do these things around moons and new moons and, you know, different changes of the seasons, right? Different changes of the zodiac seasons, right? And that's been a particular pattern. So now they're going to do this whole new introducing, the boosters for all Americans on Thursday, right? And because they know that it's a full moon and a lunar eclipse, they're going to use that as the catalyst to poison your mind, right? They want to possess their transformation too, and the transformation and the renewal of your mind, the rebirth of your mind, to continue to buy into the system and not buy into your own system, which is your own living organism. So it says, Taurus people revel in the pleasures of life. They crave the security and comfort of relaxing in the warmth of their home environment. They value the senses and enjoyment of material things. They are willful and sometimes can be stubborn, okay? With large capacity for kindness, they are steadfastly devoted and loyal. So you have to ask yourself, are you loyal to yourself? Are you loyal to yourself? Are you loyal to the truth that is in you? Are you living the life that you want to live? Are you acting the way that you want to act? Not just in public, not just putting on a facade for Instagram or Facebook or social media or your friends. I'm talking about when you're home, naked, and you look in the mirror. Can you look in the mirror and really love yourself? Can you look in the mirror and say you're really happy with yourself without makeup, without the Jordans, without the earrings, without the Versace, without the Gucci? without the big car, without the big house, right? Without the stress of poverty, right? Besides all of that, are you happy with yourself? And if you are not happy with yourself, what steps do you need to take? And most importantly, what needs to die? What habits needs to die? What daily rituals need to die? Maybe you can't get up and smoke trees every day because you have brain fog from smoking trees every day. Maybe you can't drink every day after work because you're not happy with how you feel in the morning and you're not happy going to work. And if it's not going to work, you're not happy with building your business, or you're not happy with the finances that you have, or you're not happy with the relationships that you have, intimate or social. What are you willing to die to? What is willing to die? This season, there has to be something that you're going to kill. And it's not a physical death. This is a spiritual death, right? This is a coffining of yourself. Now, I'm even going to show you how this coffin theme is going to come up for this particular new moon, right? So stick with me. I got some stuff for y'all tonight, for real, for real. But we really need to look at and use this bullish energy of this Taurus energy, because it says Taurus is a stubborn, right, and all that, but it's also a bull. And we know bulls run through shit, right? There's a whole thing in Spain called the running of the bulls. And I think somebody, when they did the running of the bulls this year, if I'm not correct, they died. And people always die or get seriously injured during the running of the bulls. But bulls ain't playing. We see bulls at the rodeo, right? Bulls ain't playing. They will take you out if you out here thinking that they're not going to run you over, right? So being that this is a lunar eclipse, which means that the moon is basically covering the sun. So when the solar eclipse is when the sun is over the moon, casting light over the moon. The lunar eclipse is when the moon, right? So the moon is over the sun, like the sun is hitting the moon, boom, and you can't really see the sun. It's just the moon basically and the sun's reflection, right? So we have a lunar eclipse. And the energy, I mean, even right now, as I'm talking to y'all, I could feel it. You know, if you have any empath abilities, right? If you're tapped in, so to speak, if you've been doing this type of spiritual work, if you are a person that is sensitive to energy and receptive to other energy and other people's energies, it's very intense. I just about a couple hours ago, as I was doing some final research from this video, there was this crazy dude, never seen him on the block, don't know who he is. He's literally walking back and forth around my window, right? Just singing, right? He's high or whatever, right? He's singing, and then he's singing the ABCs. And I'm like, I had to go to the window, like, yo, dude, I'm trying to, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to think, what are you doing? And he's just going in one particular section. But even that was a challenge for me, right? I won't tell you how, that's personal, but that was a challenge for me to even address it in the way I did, right? But this is a time for that, right? This is a time to address your fears. This is a time to address whatever you think you can't handle. This is the time to be bullish about your transformation. But let's continue going, because I don't want to do this. I don't want to be here till 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock a.m. when I'm tired, like the last video. So let's get started and get into a little bit more of this Taurus. So Taurus, earth element, right? Obviously we are here on the earth, but this is also about being grounded, okay? So this particular energy is about being grounded. What do I mean by being grounded? Being real with yourself. Now, I say keep it myth, right? Keep it myth is for your imagination, right? So keep in my last video when I said F reality, fuck reality, keep it mythology. The mythology is about your imagination. The mythology is about deifying yourself. The mythology is about making yourself bigger than you being John Jones or Rashida Jackson or Maurice or Clarence the 13 is a little more mythology, or being, Clarence Jenkins or Robert Johnson, right? Whatever your government name is, creating a mythos around you, walking around as a particular deity and possess and walking with that energy. That means in your daydreams, as well as in your meditations, there should be points during the day, during the season, where you are acting as if you are this particular deity that you are working with, so you could be one with the energy. This is not this church thing where you are praying to an outside force. Oshun is not an outside force. Ogun is not an outside force. Heru, Horus is not an outside force. Osiris is not an outside force. These things are natural aspects and natural energetic frequencies that are within you. These things are within you. Once anyone tells you that these things are outside of yourself, then you have to now look outside of yourself. And usually it's looking outside of yourself to that person who told you that the thing is outside of yourself for salvation. Just look at any of the Abrahamic religions, and you'll see that people are not even really worshiping the God, quote unquote, themselves. They are usually worshiping the person more than they're worshiping the God themselves, and following what the person says more than they're following the words of the particular holy book, quote unquote, holy book, right? Because look at the Pope was behind slavery. The Pope was behind World War I's, World War II's, right? The Pope is behind the Muslim Christian conflicts, right? And it's the same with the Islamic religions. They're using these things as vehicles and catalysts, and people are following the leaders, the Mohammedan, the Punic Wars, they're following the leaders, but not even following the principles in the book that are going against wars. Jesus's greatest teaching was to love thy neighbor as thyself. So again, we're going back to using this energy to really ground ourselves, right? You might want to go out in nature. I know it's kind of cold. It's cold where I am, but you could still walk through the park. You could still walk by a river. You could still tap in and drink teas and tap into that natural element, right? Drink some tea, drink some herbs, tap into that natural element, maybe get a smoothie, right? And this is just the physical aspect, but the grounding aspect is to get to who and what you really are. What is your real passion? Why are you here? Why did your sperm bull its way into the vagina? Okay, Taurus the bull. Why did your sperm bull its way into the vagina against all the other millions of sperms that was fighting to land your monkey ass here? And if you know what that is already, what is it that you need to eliminate? What is it that you need to create? What is it that you need to discipline yourself? Earthing, grounding. This is, we talk about grounding and walking in the grass and all that sweet, beautiful shit, and sun gazing and moon gazing. And yeah, you could do that too, right? Moon gaze, absorbing the light of the moon, sun gaze, absorbing the light of the sun, because we are electromagnetic beings. So the whole universe, not just the earth, the universe is here to serve us. The cosmos is here to serve us, right? Especially what we went through in 2020, right? We should see that. We should see that 2020 sat everybody down, made everybody think, and 2021 was about activating what those thoughts were, right? And it was a rocky time for a lot of people. A lot of people. Some people, it was their best years, right? There's always the yin and the yang. Some people had their best times. They made a lot of money in the stock market. They made money in crypto. They started new careers, new jobs, maybe met a new boo, new lover, right? Moved to a different place, starting a whole new life, right? So forth and so on. So people were initiating new things, whether it be quote unquote good or quote unquote bad. But now, this particular season, right? After you initiated it, what is it that you still have to heal? This is about those, and I'm going back to the 2020. I always go back here a lot of times when I do these particular lectures, but the winter solstice, right? The Jupiter-Saturn conjunction, where we're tapping into our superpowers, whatever our spiritual, psychic talents were and are, tapping into those. And 2021 was really about going through the initiation, because everybody wanted the superpowers, right? They thought they was going to happen as soon as, Jupiter and Saturn aligned, that everybody was going to become magical and shit and be able to shoot fire from their palms and magically drive Rolls Royces and fly in private jets, and be able to read people's minds like Professor X from the X-Men. It don't work that way. All spiritual systems have initiation, right? There are stages, there are steps. Just like a baby, right, turns into a toddler turns into, after a toddler, it's what's that after a toddler? Baby, infant, then toddler, right? Then, I don't know, I think you call it a kid, right? Whatever, child. Then you have a preteen, then you have a teenager, right? Then you have an adult, then you have a middle-ager, right? Then you have a quote-unquote older adult, right? And then you have a senior citizen. There's stages of initiation in all parts of life. So don't think that you're just going to get something like bibbity bobbity boop, wave a magic wand or some bewitched shit. You think you are motherfucking Wanda from WandaVision, and you're just going to be able to, put some rooms up and tap and read the dark hole, and you're just going to make it happen. There has to be some sort of initiation. And if you are tapped in, you went through some initiation this year, and usually it was going through some rough shit. Okay? And further down the line, we'll get into some comedic initiation just to show you how brutal this thing could be. Okay? But anyway, this is about grounding. The ruling planet is Venus. So this is love. Venus is the planet of love. Venus is the second planet after the sun. It's the sun, Mercury, then Venus. Mercury is about communication. Venus is about love. So the color's pink, bright green. This is tipping off in the AM Friday morning. So it starts at like 1:30 something. We'll get into that, right? Yeah, we'll get into the numbers a little bit further, but let me go into this. So one of the lucky stones, emerald, sapphire, turquoise, okay? Turquoise is a stone or a particular crystal that has a lot of healing properties, all right? And it was one that was revered and used a lot by not only the Cometians, but also the Aztecs and the Mayan civilization, people that built pyramids, right? Para comes from pyro, meaning fire, middle, so fire in the middle. What is the fire in the middle of you? It is your heart, right? The fire that's in the middle of you is your heartbeat. That is what's keeping you alive, right? That is your solar engine, right? So, and you have a solar plexus in your body as well, but your heart is the engine of your body. That is your inner fire, okay? So the characteristics, all right, sensual, we know Scorpio is also a sign that is sexual, but this is more of a sensual sign, right? So sexuality is different than being sensual. It's the difference between being romantic, right, and just fucking. So sensual is the romance, the wooing, the foreplay, right? And Scorpio is more like the fucking and the strokes, right? and the back shots or the ride or whatever, I'm using both genders just to make points, but you guys hopefully know what I'm saying. So we're looking at also talking about being stubborn. All right, that's a negative aspect of Taurus, not wanting to change, not wanting to be different. So this is, a lot of people are going to be on this wave too. They're like, but it's going to be hot, like, fuck that. I ain't changing, I ain't doing this. And you're going to see this come out in the people that you love, people that you care about, right, over the next week because of this eclipse energy. So look out. These next 2 weeks are going to be intense, not only here, but in the government as well. And we're going to continue to see miracles happen. It's also about practicality. It's an earth sign, okay? So not being dreamy, not being so in your head where you can't make a plan, where you can't make realistic goals. If you want to get from plan from A to B, what are realistic steps that you could take now? What realistic skills do you have now? What realistic resources do you have now? Who can you connect with now? Not in the future, not with what I manifest, right? Not with what I'm dreaming about now. Like, what is it that you could do to get you to where you want to go? That's what you want to look at, all right? And only you know this, right? Only you know your life. I can't tell you your life. This is just a lecture. Words don't teach, experiences do. I'll say this 3 times on some Dr. Umar shit. Words don't teach, experiences do. Words don't teach. A lecturer, a preacher, a scholar cannot move you. It could give you some inspiration, right? Inspire you, inspiral you, raise your frequency for a minute. But after that frequency high, then what are you going to do to implement actionable plans and steps in your own life? Okay. So it's practical. We want to be reasonable. If you're not financially straight, then you have to figure out how you're going to get there. What skills do you need? Do you need to take classes? Do you need to acquire new skills? Do you need to maybe move somewhere, right? If you're not comfortable with where you are, what steps can you make to lay a new foundation for yourself, right? If you're not in a good relationship, what moves can you make? Maybe you got to stay with mama for a little bit. Maybe you got to stay with auntie. Maybe you got to be a sister. Maybe you got to humble yourself. It's about being practical, really looking at practical and really swallowing some of this stubbornness and this pride, right? If that's what you need to do in order to get to where you get. And sometimes I'll tell you personally, when I broke up with my daughter's mother years ago, I had to sleep on my sister's couch for a year. It was not ideal. It was not what I wanted to do. It was not something that I was happy about, right? For sure. But it took me to that situation, took me to another situation that led me here. And this situation is now leading me somewhere else, right? Which I won't get into because everybody doesn't cheer for you. But again, you want to be practical and use this energy and really write some things out or think some things out. But even if you're thinking them out, you also want to put them, because there's power in the written word. There's power in scripting. There's power in writing. There's power in spelling. Okay. So get into that. So I just wanted to get into that a little bit. Let's go into what's the next thing. Yes, lie. Words don't think, experiences do. My best relationships was a Taurus. Yeah. Valley Joe said I just moved from dry ass Arizona to Fairfield. All right, that's what's up. So let's go into. So you see the title of this. Longest lunar eclipse of the 21st century. Do you think this is just by coincidence, right? With all the stuff that's happening, the Little Nas X, the riot in the Capitol, and the riot in the Capitol that started the year, the Little Nas X was coming on, the hokey pokey, the mandates, right? The Delta, right? Where people unfortunately are still, passing away. The people losing their jobs, the eviction. People aren't even talking about that. I was reading an article in the New York Times today that said, in the Bronx, like had in the whole America, the Bronx had the most evictions. I say Dwanater to the ancestors. I'm able to pay my bills. I'm able to pay my rent, and I live in the Bronx currently. But a lot of people do not have the ability to pay their rent. They do not have the ability to pay their bills. So, and people not talking about that right now, right? People not talking about how AI, what I showed you on my last video, how AI is replacing people and replacing people's jobs. So we live in a very, 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 very tense time right now, right? People, and they're talking about it's a great resignation. No, it's a great AI innovation. And we need to catch up. We need to teach our kids how to code. We need to get our kids into STEM, because your kids are already playing Fortnite. They're already spending cryptocurrency in Fortnite. If you have children, they ask you for some money for some skins. I know mine's have. They ask you for some money for some skins for Fortnite, or for something for skins for Roblox, or something for Farmville, right? Which was the first iteration of a metaverse, right? Roblox and Fortnite is nothing but the metaverse light. Wait till it comes big. And I'm talking about the metaverse that Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg is creating. if you're not aware of what I'm talking about. So anyway, let's go back into this. So it says this eclipse is lasting close to 4 hours. Now, family, you guys know, those who have been following me know I follow space weather, know I look at the cosmos, I study cosmology, I studied the universal movement of the planets and the cycles, because that's what my ancestors tell me to do, right? So I look at these things. So I've never seen an eclipse that lasted 4 hours. Not since I've been tracking this, not since I've been studying this. Like, look, eclipse is usually about an hour, maybe two. I think I had a long one that was like maybe 2 hours, but usually around an hour, you know what I'm saying, that you see an eclipse. This one is lasting close. Oh no, I'm sorry. This is the one that was this was the one that was in 2018. So I'm looking at the wrong one. But now they're saying this is the longest partial lunar eclipse, but this is the game, right? So this is USA Today saying that this is the partial lunar eclipse. But they're saying now that on patch that this is a full lunar eclipse. So who's telling the truth? See, this is what I told y'all about mythology, that they create their own mythology. And I'm going to show you something else that proves that this is not a partial lunar eclipse, but it's all about the psychology of how you think and how they want you to think. If you think it's a partial lunar eclipse, then you're not going to realize the power that it has, and you're not going to do any rituals, and you're just going to go and act and on this as it's a regular ass day, when this is one of the most powerful days of 2021. And according to this is one of the most powerful days of the 21st century, longest lunar eclipse of the 21st century. Okay, let's go into a little bit about what they talk about in Adena. Adena is, well, we'll see sooner or later. Okay, so full blood lunar eclipse. All right, full blood. None of these articles, and this is just off the search page, none of these articles are talking about that it's a full blood lunar eclipse, which looks like the planet Mars. And guess what? Who rules the planet Mars? The sign that rules the planet Mars is Scorpio. Coincidence? As I tell y'all, there's no such thing as coincidence, only confirmation. There's no coincidences, only confirmations. There's no coincidence. There's no such thing as deja vu. If it happens, if you feel like it happened before, then you need to pay the fuck attention. You need to pay the fuck attention to why you feel that way and what's making you feel that way. Don't just brush it off and then go back on your phone on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter. It's happening for a reason. And you need to realize what that reason is. In life, there's lessons and there's blessings, not failures. All right? And it could be a long lesson, right? But that doesn't mean that it's a failure, because you could find good in anything. So let's go into a little bit more about this. So the lunar eclipse, so it's calls for a watch party in Adena. All right. And they're basically saying Thursday and Friday, November 18th to 19th, right? It's going to be an impressive event lasting 3 hours, 28 minutes, and 23 seconds. That will make it the longest lunar eclipse of the 21st century, according to NASA. But the other article said that something in 2018, right? I ain't bugging. That something in 2018 was the longest lunar eclipse, right? Which is it? I guess it was the one over Cairo, right? So Cairo is in Egypt as well. And we're going to tap into this Egypt Kemet correspondence, right? The law of correspondence, as above, so below. So, and if you look we're in my community section, you already know where I'm going with this, but let's continue. Oh, peace to Great Goodness Goddess, peace to Drea, okay, peace to Straight Panther. I see y'all in the building, all right, and we building. So let's keep going. If y'all late, you know what I'm saying, go back, watch a little bit of the, go back to the beginning. I'm channeling right now, so I'm dropping some even what's coming out of my mouth, I'm surprised about, okay? So anyway, so this makes this the longest lunar eclipse of the 21st century, according to NASA. Does NASA lie? Of course they do, but I'm more apt to go with them than CBS News, all right? Now, Says the light, usually the light from the sun paints the face of the moon a grayish white, but when the eclipse peaks around 3 a.m., okay, when the eclipse peaks around 3 a.m. Now, why is this significant? Let's go into it. And I didn't even tap this as a slide, but let's go into melatonin peak level time. When does melatonin peak? So let me see if I could get it here. Okay, so this is not telling you when the melatonin is peaking, but I could tell you, this is telling you when starting around 5 or 6 in the morning, your body starts to produce less melatonin, right? So melatonin generally starts, let me get out of the share screen for this. So melatonin basically starts at 9 p.m., no matter where you live, right? At 9 p.m., that's when your melatonin starts to kick in, right? Your melatonin is the sleep hormone, but this is, you have melatonin and you have serotonin. Serotonin works in the day. That's a gut hormone for your happiness. It deals with your mood. It deals with your quote unquote feelings, right? Melatonin is your dream hormone. This is where you get your inner visions. This is where you get your downloads. This is where grandma could dream numbers, right? This is where they say, let me sleep on it in the morning. You have the right decision, right? This is where these things come from, because melanin, you are going into your own inner metaverse, right? Into your own inner universe, into your own inner multiverse, into the land of Ementa, as the Cometians called it. Some people call it the Akashic Records. Some people call it the universal mind. Some people call it the subconscious mind, right? All the same thing. But this is when your melatonin peaks, but your melatonin hits the max peak between 2 and 4 p.m. Okay, between 2 and 4 p.m. is when your melatonin starts to max peak. All right. So I just wanted to explain that to further go into this particular teaching. Now, so it's saying around 5 or 6, it starts to produce less melatonin and increasing amounts of hydrocortisone. All right. The sleep cycle is a circadian rhythm. For time's sake, we won't go into all that. My nerdy ass will be talking about this all night. So let's go back to where we were. So the eclipse peaks around 3 a.m. So what I just tell you, this is when your melatonin is at your max. These are quote unquote the witching hours. This is when you can tap into, let me move this just to make, I want to stress this, right? Because the morning, Friday morning, I suggest you go to bed early. Those of you who are young and can have the stamina to stay up, I suggest you can, if you can, stay up. If you can't, I suggest you go to bed early, which I will be doing, and set your alarm to wake up at 3 o'clock. Get into your meditation bag, right? I'll get into a little bit more, but I'll also show you in this particular lecture when the moon hits, okay? But this is when your melatonin is at its peak, usually between the windows of 3 and 4 p.m. This is when you have close connections with the ancestors, close connections with those that are in your bloodline, close connections with those that have come before you, close connections with those people in your bloodline that were scientists, people in your bloodline that were doctors, people in your bloodline that were warriors, people in your bloodline that were lawyers, people in your bloodline that were fishermen, people in your bloodline that were kings, queens, etc., etc., etc. If you want to get over any habit, if you want to get over any childhood trauma, if you want to get over any limitation, now is the motherfucking time. This is the best time to be alive. What did it say? What does this say? Okay, centuries longest. Centuries, 100 years. Okay, centuries longest. Centuries longest. Do you know how privileged you are to be alive here right now? To hear the sound of my beautiful voice? Now, but seriously, like this is I'm joking to try to make it entertaining, but yo, it's a big deal. Okay. When the eclipse peaks around 3 a.m. Central Time on the 19th, our planet will block 98% of the sun's light. As I told you, the moon is going to be blocking the sun, right? So basically, well, I don't think y'all can see me up here. Let me put myself up here. So the moon is going, so the moon is going to be blocking the sun. So the sun is going to be hitting the moon like this, boom, right? So it's not partial if it's blocking 98% of the sun's light, okay? So again, you got to watch the mythology. I just want to, show you how these people play games, okay? They're calling it a partial lunar eclipse, but how is it partial? It's blocking 98% of the sun. That's why you got to do your own research, all right? Or watch Rob Blackstorm, and I'll do it for you. Now, a partial lunar eclipse occurs when the moon passes through the Earth's partial lunar. We don't need to know that, okay? So these are your time zones. Most of it says, although the eclipse lasts about 3.5 hours from start to finish, most of the action takes place in a 2-hour span. People in all 50 states will be able to watch it. I suggest if you can, if it's not freezing where you are, even if it is, I'm going to be stepping out. I'm going to be taking a nap kind of early. Even if I fall asleep around 11 or 12, I'm still going to be doing some moon gazing for sure. Friday morning. That's 1,000,000%. My alarm will be set, and I hope yours will be. If you're on the East Coast, it's between 2 and 4 p.m. Central Time is between 1 and 3 p.m. Mountain Time, midnight to 2 a.m. Okay, Pacific Time. You're on the West Coast. My man Hala Vegeta, right? Tap in between 11 and 1. All right, y'all don't even got to do like me and wake up, early in the morning. Y'all got it good. Okay, so between 11 and 1 p.m. 1 a.m. Sorry. So you can screenshot this. Prep yourself. Make it your screenshot for your phone on your computer screen for work, or for your work at home, or for your business, right? And even for business, like this is a moon. If you want to initiate something for your business, right? There's something you haven't been looking into. There's something you haven't been tapping into. There's a resource that you wanted to implement your business. Now's the time. Now's the time. The underworld is here. Halloween was just the other day. It's only the 17th. Halloween was just the 31st. The Day of the Dead ended on the 2nd. So the ancestors are still bubbling out here. They still turned up. All right. So in Medina, where this particular article is from, because I didn't know where it was, it's in Minnesota. All right. So let's go into this time and date. Okay, this is the eclipse here in New York. I went over the times. Again, they're calling it a partial lunar eclipse. When I look at this and I see 9.74 magnitude, all right. And again, they're saying here it's going to peak in New York at 4:02, but I'm in my head, what I programmed myself is that it's going to start at 4:04, right? Again, you can't trust what these people say, and I'm going to go with the law of 44. Shout out to Blue Pill, and implement that in my mind because of the numbers that have been resonating lately. We'll get into that in a second. But again, they're saying it's a partial lunar eclipse. If you look at the 9.74, right? This is what the 9 is, okay? This looks like a motherfucking damn near full lunar eclipse, all right? And that's what the other article says as well. And this is how you do research, folks. You just don't take one source. You just don't take what brother this said, or prophet this said, or, something Bay said, or, something Magi said, or whoever, right? You do your own research. You go back, you get some notes, write things down. When you're listening to people on the internet giving lectures, again, words do not teach, experiences do. You go write it down. If it sounds too good to be true, you write it down somewhere and you go research. As genius as, shout out to Billy Carson, by the way. I'm talking about Billy Carson right now, but as genius as Billy Carson is, there's things that I go back and research him. I research things that he says. I research things that everybody says. Everybody, all my speakers. You know what I'm saying? If it sounds immaculate, and most of the time they prove to be right, which is why I still follow them, because there's a lot of people that y'all follow that be saying some straight old bullshit, straight bullshit. And y'all still are like, oh, these are the gods. And they're telling y'all something that you know, they're basically telling you the same shit that y'all got in church. But because y'all are so programmed with a church mindset that you think that the preacher is still going to do the work for you to get you to heaven. Boss. I wish I could drop a bomb to that. All right. So, yeah, and I'm getting that set up soon. So we'll have some sound effects. This is probably I'm going to be doing a lot of these live lectures. You know, I'll still do my other, you know, little 5-10 minute things here, but the live lectures, they're going to be like this over Zoom from now on until, you know, Spirit tells me to do something different. All right. So I just want to show y'all that. So if you were in my community section, and if you're new here, please hit that like button. If you've been here, please hit that like button. If you're new, hit that subscribe button. Okay. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Rob Blackstorm is going in. All right. Let me take a little sip. Talk amongst yourselves. A little Jesus juice. Y'all don't know what this is. Thank goodness. So y'all can't judge me. All right. You know, church people. I'm not saying y'all ain't church, but you know, spiritual people can be the most judgmental people on the planet. Real talk. Church folk, woke folk, occult folk, right? Some of the most judgmental people on the planet, for real, for real. All right. So it says, as climate emergency worsens, freak storm sends snow, scorpion plague on Egypt's Aswan. The one thing I didn't do, I didn't pull up a picture of Aswan. So I want to show you what Aswan looks like. Pause. It's a funny looking name. I don't want to do a secure search. Let me just do this. So Aswan is right by the Nile. But I want to show you what it looks like. So it says it here, but I wish I had they're probably going to give me some tourist images because I'm not using Google. I'm getting different images. So bear with me. Yahoo is just more. Okay, so this might be good. All right. So Aswan is pretty much on the Nile River. Okay. And if you look at these pictures of Aswan, you'll see the Nile River. So this is actually, is a good picture, right? This is the Nile River. Now the Nile River, right? One of the big things about the summer solstice in Kemet, AKA Egypt, Kemet meaning the Black Land, is that during the summer solstice, this is when the Nile would flood, okay? The Nile would flood. This is where vegetation came from. And it is the only river that flows upward. Right? Instead of flowing downward, the Nile is the only river that actually flows upward. So, and this is where upper and lower Kemet, aka Egypt, was formed along the banks of the Nile. Also, Ethiopia, right, which we discussed in my other lecture, is also close to on the end of, because lower Egypt or lower Kemet was, so it was lower Kemet and upper Kemet. So how we would see upper and lower, they had lower, upper that way. And so upper Kemet was closer to Ethiopia and Nubia and all those other lands, okay? Just to give you some geographical perspective. But this is along the Nile, right? So let's go back into what happened. So as climate emergency worsens, freak storm sends snow. Snow, in Egypt, all right? This place hits temperatures as high as 120 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, I'm not making this up. This is what it says. We wouldn't want Upper Egypt to be hotter than it is in the summer when it already reaches 120 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay. And also, if you guys are learning something from this, please, you know, you can hit the donate button. When you give to me, you give into yourself. You could also hit my Cash App. When you give it to me, you're giving it to yourself. And hopefully I'm providing value to show that it is worth that. And if you can't do anything, just hit the like button, just hit the subscribe button. Those things help me as well. And not only me, my family. The better I can do this, the more resources I can put into this, and the less I have to worry about finances to provide. Again, just ask. Now, with that being said, let us go into, all right, so this place hits 120 degrees, but they got snow. All right, and scorpions, all right? So they're saying that there's climate scientists have no doubt that the Aswan storm was a manifestation of human-driven climate change, okay? Let me tell you something. These people are changing the climate. Oh, you don't think so? I'm just making stuff up. This is Hotep shit. This is some woke stuff. What is he talking about? Let's show and prove, all right? Let's show and prove. It's so hot in Dubai that the government is artificially creating rainstorms. Now, I know your spiritual teachers, they want to scare you and tap into your pain body and tap into your anxiety body and tell you, oh, HARP, yep, oh, HARP, oh, yeah, it's the big government. All you got to do is do a little research and you'll see they've been doing this for years, okay? It's so hot in Dubai that the government is actually creating rainstorms. Now, the reason I even learned about this is I went to get some acupuncture done. I want to shout out my doctor's name. I can't remember, but my acupuncturist. I got some acupuncturists done, and I would recommend everybody get some acupuncture. Get a colonic at least once a year, right? It's uncomfortable. I know colonic people gonna say, oh, whatever, but you're gonna feel better after you do it. It does cost a little bit of money, you know what I'm saying? But maybe don't buy, a pair of Jordans. Maybe don't buy, that OZ this month. Maybe don't, you know what I'm saying? Maybe cut back on the fast food a little bit. Maybe instead of the liter of Hennessy, or the gallon of Hennessy, maybe at a liter, right? Maybe you just, discount yourself. But you should, especially after what we went through in 2020, especially you men, fellas, get some healing, get some spa game, go get a massage that doesn't have a happy ending. You know what I'm saying? Take care of yourself, for real. All right, so with that being said, get pampered. It's essential, all right? Yeah, Rob Blackstorm is still the Cash App. I'm about to change the name soon, but yeah, thank you, great goodness, goddess. Rob Blackstorm 7 is still the Cash App. So so they're talking about climate change is what caused these things to happen with snow, right, along in Aswan, Egypt, and Kemet. But it's so hot in Dubai, the government is saying. So basically, going back to my doctor, my acupuncturist, she told me that she was in Dubai and she saw them shoot something in the air, right? And as soon as it was hot as hell, she said in Dubai, they shot something in the air. She saw it with her two eyes. But I'm the God. I'm not just going to take her word for it and just repeat it. Oh, like people do. People do this to me all the time. Oh, so-and-so said, young this said, prophet this said, Mr. And I'm mixing up people's names for, because I don't want to give them light in my shit. But, Philippe Nareed said, and then when you look it up, it ain't even what's real, right? But I digress. Dr. Pumbaa said, right? But anyway, so she told me this, right? And I was like, for real? Boom. So I left acupuncture. I looked it up, all right? And sure enough, scientists in United Arab Emirates are making it rain artificially using electrical charges, right? Nobody say HARP. Electrical charges from drones to manipulate the weather and force rainfall across the desert nation, okay? This took me less than 5 minutes to find out, okay? Less than 5 minutes. But Netflix, I know it's dope. You know what I'm saying? I understand the smart TV and YouTube got a lot of cool stuff, right? But do you want to know you or do you want to know the world? Are you of the world or are you of the spirit? You know what I'm saying? What's the scripture? To to be in the world, but not of it, right? Being in the world, but not of it is basically being Neo in the Matrix. Neo comes into the Matrix, he steps in the Matrix, plays in the Matrix, but then he goes back to the real world and deals with the real world problems of saving Zion. And his dealings in the Matrix is still at the end of the day to save Zion. Go back and watch the movie The Matrix if you haven't. All right, the new Matrix is about to come out next month, right around the winter solstice again. So that's going to be deep. But anyway, okay, so they're talking about cloud seeding. All right, I'm not going to go into the whole article. You can screenshot this, do your thing. Just a little more. This is happening in America too. Okay, 8 states are seeding clouds to overcome a mega drought. Okay, but look what it says. There's little evidence to show that the process is increasing precipitation. This is in March 16, 2021. This ain't no old shit. All right. So this is what's happening. All right. And they'll say these aren't ordinary particles. They're crushed up silver, iodide, a crystal-like photosensitive substance once used in photography. All right. But it's not used to take pictures out in the mountains. What is it used to? It's meant to make snow. Hold up. Come on, man. If I and I say this not even with my ego, but utilizing my ego in service of the ancestors. If I'm not divinely guided, and if I didn't do no healing work, who did? For real, for real. Hold up. Service of the ancestors. If I'm not so it's used to make snow. Okay. That's what they're showing. It's used to make snow. All right, I gotta turn the volume down. Hold on. Hold up, but I had to hit the horn on that. All right. So when they're saying it's climate change, not necessarily climate change. It's these people that's fucking up the planet doing this bullshit. Okay. So there was snow. All right. And because the snow came, scorpions came. This is Scorpio season. Okay. There's no coincidences, only confirmation. No coincidences, only confirmation. So there's a scorpion plague. How freakish and biblical. This is what this guy is calling it. Deadly Egyptian black fat-tailed scorpions. All right. What is the name of these scorpions? What are they calling these scorpions? Hold up. We're going to get it. It's either in this article or not, or the other article. I may have deleted it. Nah, what are they calling this? Okay, I think it's in this article. So more than 500 injured by scorpion stings. Okay, the number 5 has to do with power and it has to do with refinement. Okay, when you refine yourself, when you change yourself, when you become grounded, when you heal from your childhood trauma, when you heal from your past trauma, when you heal from your trauma from living in the hood, from living in the poverty, from not having things, right? All these things have to be addressed, and you have and had a 28-day window. But the universe is gracious. They're giving you a full moon and a lunar eclipse where you could literally go in on this one day and put as much energy as you can to make up for the 14 days that you didn't do shit. If you didn't do shit, all right? Now, and really all you have to do really since the new moon is meditate and face your fears, right? And your fears would have started to come up little by little to make sure you're on the right path and you would have conquered them shits like I have. And I'm not saying this to brag or boast. I am just showing you that this does work. I know y'all have seen me do more videos than I've done in a long time and on a consistent basis. This is not by accident. This is because I've been working on my motherfucking self, particularly this month. All right. And eradicating some things as well. Anyway, so all right. Shout out to the Scorpios if anyone's in here. So anyway, I think I deleted the article, but these scorpions, they're calling them, I think they called them death stingers or something like that. But 500 people getting stung is crazy, okay? 500 people being hospitalized. So the number 5, again, power refinement. So change, transformation. The fact this happened on Egypt, on the Nile, right? On the banks of the Nile, right? Before a lunar eclipse, right? The fact that 500 people got stung means there was a deluge, right? An abundance of scorpions stinging people. Right after snow, too? Right after snow came? All right? These things are signs and symbols for the universe to show you that you need to wake up or you will get stung out here. All right? You need to wake up or you will get stung. You need to go within or you're going to get stung. You're going to get stung and left behind by the metaverse. You're going to get stung and left behind by the inundation of cryptocurrency. They already are having quote unquote coin shortages. I don't know where you've been. You already, if you go in your supermarkets, you see that a gallon of milk is like $6. I don't drink milk, but I see it's $6, right? You see a pack of bacon. I don't eat bacon, but I see that it's like $7, $8, right? You should be seeing, you should see bread is going up to damn near $5 for a loaf, right? These things that are happening, okay? So you have to be able to tap into your purpose, even if it's just for the purpose of making money to survive the new world order that we are currently living in, because we are living in the new world order now. I remember in the 90s, this was a fantasy, not a fantasy. This was something that was coming in 2012. The new world order was supposed to happen in 2012, but this is happening now, here and now. What are you going to do? Are you still going to live the hood life? Are you still comfortable with the hood shit? BMF, raising Canaan. Why you think these things are being perpetuated? I'm not saying, that I don't enjoy them, that they're not good entertainment power, right? But you got corporate niggas that are selling drugs. You got Tariq, right? And I'm talking about Power and the spinoff Tariq, which was his name ain't Power. What's his Ghost? You got Ghost son Tariq in college selling dope. What do you think now when Black kids are in college, right? Or the kid that got in a particular collegiate organization or a high prestigious school due to affirmative action, what do you think that they're going to think he's doing now based on what they see on TV? See, people seeing is believing. That's not going to change based on what you think is racism. Seeing is believing, because you have been programmed to black and white and this and that, and everybody's racist and everybody's out to get me, right? It doesn't change the fact that seeing is believing. And when these boys, these fatherless and motherless boys, see Raising Canaan, see BMF, seeing these shows on a consistent basis with people that look like them wilding out, they don't have guidance. They don't know anything about this. They're not listening to things like this. They're just listening to celebrity gossip, what they see on Instagram. They want the drip. They want the money. How do you think they're going to get it in these impoverished neighborhoods? What do you think they're going to do? Are they tapping in on Friday morning? Are they tapping in on Thursday night if you're on the West Coast? No. They're tapping into that TV. They're tapping into that tablet. They're tapping into that cell phone. So there's a lot of things that are being perpetuated. They're on their grind too. They're on their game too. In fact, BMF is coming back. It took a hiatus this week and it's coming back out on the 21st, right along with Tariq again in college selling dope. Okay. So the prison industrial system made a lot of money off niggas selling dope. And a lot of niggas have stopped going to jail. If you look at the statistics, a lot of niggas have stopped going to jail, believe it or not. But they want to make sure that happens again. They cast spells too. Now, I don't know why I got into that, but Spirit told me to talk about it, so I'm talking about it. Oh, because your ass will get stung. And a lot of people are going to get stung. Friends and family members, okay? I read something where they were talking about, and again, I don't want to tap no anxieties or nothing, where they're talking about another pandemic. And you should expect like pandemics now that there's going to be a part of life where they're going to be talking about this new thing, this new strain, because look how well it worked. It got people's businesses shut down. It got people walking around wearing masks in fresh air, right? Wearing masks walking through parks, wearing masks when they're jogging, wearing masks when they're riding bikes. It's the craziest things that I've ever seen in my life. You're riding a fucking bike in the middle of a park and you got a mask on. You're jogging in the park and you have a mask on. It is crazy to me that people are this much of sheep. But lo and behold, they are. Okay? So this is the world we're living in. So to me, that shouldn't even make you anxious. You should just be prepared for war, like all God's warriors are. So 5, power refinement. There's power in refinement. Refinement could be, is when you get a haircut, you feel great. When you get your hair done, you feel great. You got some new shoes, new clothes, you stepping out, you feel great. Okay, that's a form of refinement. But also when you eat well, you feel great. Also when you're happy, you feel great. Also when you're enjoying your life, you feel great. Also when you're abundant, you feel great. But most importantly, when you are living your purpose and going towards your purpose while you are here on earth, what the sperm was here to do, what your sperm cell hit the egg for. Your sperm cell did not hit the egg for you to be the best mechanic at Jiffy Lube. Your sperm cell did not hit the egg for you to be the best twerker on Instagram. Your sperm cell did not hit the egg for you to know how many points LeBron James averaged in the year 2019. Your sperm cell did not hit the egg for you to know every verse on Summer Walker's new album. Why the fuck are you here? Are you here just go back and watch Belly? Or are you here just to fucking get money and die? I'll see you the next spin around. I won't see you. I'll see you I'll see you as a star. I'll see you as an exploding star and look down on your crazy ass. Maybe I'll send you some juju to help you. You know what I'm saying? When you come back the next life, maybe you'll come back as a kid as a poor kid in the slums of Sierra Leone or the slums of the favelas of Brazil, so you can really understand what poverty is and really understand what a ghetto life is, when you don't got no shoes, when you don't really know where your food is coming from, when you don't have clothes that you could just go and buy at a Salvation Army, when you understand real poverty, right? Because your struggle is bullshit. A lot of y'all struggles is bullshit. It's made up shit, and it's shit that you're comparing yourself to that's on the media. Anyway, I digress. So I talked about this a little bit the last video, but I was tired. Loki, all right? So the show Loki is something, if you haven't watched this, I believe, and I think, actually I know, you should watch Loki. Loki is very deep, okay? And Loki is Set in the Kemetic religion. When you're talking about Set or Satan, a quick and easy way, right? Satan, Saturn, right? But Set, just look at the word set, right? Something that's set, right? We say people are set in their ways. They won't change, right? People are set the way they are. They won't grow, right? Oh, they set, they ain't, I'm trying to talk to Tommy about, I'm talking to Tommy about, drinking some chlorophyll, you know what I'm saying? It'll feel better. And girl, I'm using like a girl talking, she talking to her girlfriend's girl. I'm talking to Tommy, I'm drinking this chlorophyll. I'm feeling better. I stopped eating all this meat. I'm feeling a little lighter. You know what I'm saying? My gut done went down. You know what I'm saying? My ass, I'm starting to work out. My ass done got a little fatter, girl, but I can't tell Tommy nothing. You know what I'm saying? He just set in his ways. That's the devil shit. Conservative, the thing I don't like about Republicans and the conservative energy is that they don't want to grow. I like a lot of things about less government, and I'm talking a little politics. I like a little bit about less government and stuff like that, right? But I don't like the fact that they never want to grow. They never want you to expand. They always want to keep things the way that they are, and life does not work that way. The universe is constantly expanding. We should be constantly expanding, and the world and technology will constantly expand and grow and make things, quote unquote, better if it is utilized in the right way, which is what is supposed to happen. We are supposed to continuously advance and continuously grow, right? So things that are set are things that do not change, things that do not grow. We all know people in our families, right? People that surround us that, live their whole life being the same people. Never grew, never picked up books, never went to a lecture. And not to say those are things you necessarily need to grow, or just never went to even basic therapy, right? And I'm not even saying you have to go to therapy, because some people do. I'm not knocking therapy. I'm not against it. But this season right here is motherfucking therapy right now. This, if you're doing the work, not if you're just listening to me, if you're actually doing the work, this season is therapy. 1,000,000%. But anyway, so you could be like Loki, you could be set, you know what I'm saying? But even in this particular series, Loki is growing, right? He's coming out of being set. And I want to see where Marvel takes it, but the main part I want to talk about is the multiverse, right? In this particular episode 6 is really deep with Kang the Conqueror. I'm not going to go into that whole mythos. That's something else for the code, maybe sometime if time permits. But the multiverse. So if you look at this actually looks like a neuron in the brain. Those of you who don't know what a neuron is, see that? See that? See that? See that? All right, making this up. Okay. So the multiverse actually looks like a neuron in the brain. Now, this is how charged up I am. I got to go to, well, anyway, we won't talk about that because that's putting a negative in the energy. We ain't going to do that. But so this multiverse is a multiverse that is within you. You could choose your own timeline, meaning that in the multiverse, the universe, you and I mean one verse, but the multiverse is still the universe, but it is the multiple, how do you say? Well, the multiverse is multiple universes, right? Universes on top of universes, which sounds crazy if the universe is one verse, but you got to kind of look at it from a dualistic perspective. You're an individual, right? The word individual means that there is a dual. There's an indi, one, and there is a dual, individual, divided dual, right? So there's a part of you that is physical, obviously, right? You got hands, you got feet, right? You eat food, you kill animals to eat food, you cut, if you're a vegan, you're cutting down, nobody cares about, we all know plants are alive, right? Well, hopefully we know. Go watch Stevie Wonder's, I believe it's called The Secret Life of Plants by Stevie Wonder. If you don't know that plants are alive, right? Plants are living beings too. So all you vegans like, oh, you're killing the animals and you're killing the chickens, you're killing the cows. Well, guess what? You're killing the trees too. So if that's your reason for being vegan, that shit is stupid as hell. It's the dumbest thing, because you're killing the trees too. The trees got life. It's just like everything on the planet has life. Everything is atoms vibrating at either high or low speeds or mid-tempo, right? But everything here has life. So back to the neuron, because I'm getting on another tangent. So you have the ability in the multiverse to create and go down whatever timeline you so choose. If you choose the poverty timeline, guess what? That's a branch of your mind that you're choosing to branch off into the multiverse to. Okay, there's an option for that. If you choose to go into I'm stressed out timeline, I'm depressed timeline, there's a branch for that. It's up to you in the multiverse. If you choose to go down, I am the wealthy, I am the abundant timeline, I'm powerful timeline, guess what? There's a branch of energy to support that. Because there's a branch of energy to support that in your brain. If you choose to go into, because a lot of y'all just want to be tough and want to be gangster and want to fight everybody. So if you choose to go down the Maury Povich, Jerry Springer, keeping it real timeline, there's a branch in the multiverse for that too. There's a branch for that too. So what do you choose in the multiverse? The multiverse is just a representation of your own brain, which is a tool for the mind. The mind is not located in the brain. The mind is everything. The universe is mental, and the multiverse is mental. So when you look at the multiverse as the opportunity to access whatever soul life you choose, the way you do it, and I love this picture, right? Because it is done through energy. What is energy? Energy is in motion. Energy in motion is called emotions. So you can't just say, I'm wonderful, I'm beautiful, I'm abundant, good things happen to me, and it's going to happen. You got to put some emotion behind it. I've said this billions of times. This is why they have rituals with song and dance and chants. This is why you meditate. You could put some vibratory music, some binaural beats, some isochronic tones, right, to amplify it. But really, it's best that you do it in silence, but you got to get to that point, right? Because there's going to be a time where you may want to meditate and there's no binaural beats or isochronic tones or just background noise, right? You want the background noise to be your mind. However, if you want to strengthen it, your meditations, you can use these binaural beats and isochronic tones and also singing bowls as well. Singing bowls is a great tool as well. Shout out to Blue Pill and Brother Rich and Black Magic 363. They have a great 11-11 meditation. Go over there. He talks about the 4-8 breath, which I've talked about before. Breathing in 4 times, pushing out the abdomen, breathing out 8 times, pushing in the abdomen, putting the tongue to your roof of the mouth, closing the eyes. Again, he breaks it down for time. Won't go into that here, but learn how to meditate. It's essential. It's important. It's as essential as the niggas that was working during 2020. Create your own multiverse. Create the world that you want to see, not the world that you think is old, and not necessarily the practical. Even though we're going into a Taurus's full moon and that deals with practicalities, the practicalities can still be the springboards to your fantasy. It's how you're going to get to your purpose, how you're going to line your way to your purpose, what path you're going to take to get to your purpose, and visualizing that. And once you visualize that, and once you put some energy and emotion behind it, once you put an affirmation to that with some energy and emotion behind it, now you're creating a new branch in your multiverse. You understand? Can I get a hell yeah if you understand? Can I get a hell yeah in the chat? I want to make sure I'm not just yapping. Can't see if y'all said hell yeah, but I know there's a little bit of delay. Anyways, keep it moving. It's getting late. It's going to be a long ass lecture, but I hope it makes sense. So, in this particular multiverse, okay? So this is the multiverse that they're creating for you, which is your kids playing Roblox, your kids playing Fortnite. All right, they're already in it. They're already being prepped for it. Kids are got the Oculus, right? They're already being prepped. Your kids playing 3D games on PlayStation. They're already being prepped for it. But this is where they want you to create an avatar body. This is where they want you to create a deity. These people don't see that, right? And this is from Ready Player One, right? But people don't really realize that these characters are gods. When you're buying these skins, right, and you're saying you're, Batman and you're, whatever these are, and you're creating these characters that are not really you, right? This is similar to what I'm telling you to do with these deities, with Ogun, Oshun, Obatala, Heru, Oser, Osiris, Yamaya, Ma'at, whatever you think. If you know you're out of balance, right? You know you're doing too much of this when you need to be doing too much of that. right? You could do the same thing that they're doing with Fortnite. You could do the same thing that they're doing with the metaverse. But this is what and this shit is going to be lit. Rob Blackstone will be in the metaverse too. I ain't gonna lie, but I'm gonna dip in and out just like Neo. I'm gonna use for I need, but I'm gonna make sure I'm back. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people are not gonna come back. Go watch Ready Player One. This is what they got for you. This is the multiverse that they got for you. If you won't create yours yourself, this is what they got for you. They'll create one for you. So one of the things I want to get into, and I'm about to close it down. All right, so you already talk about the metaverse needs responsible stewardship. It's not going to have responsible stewardship. You're going to be able to run amok and do what you want to do because they want you in there as much as possible and out of your own mind as much as possible, as they always do. Well, so one of the things that you want to get into is one of the jewels that you can use is turquoise. All right. Turquoise is one of the jewels that was primarily, well, not primarily, but used, like I said, by a lot of the Cometian deities. They use a lot of turquoise. These are some turquoise jewelry. Okay. Also, the sarcophaguses, what you call coffins, had a lot of turquoise in it. Okay, you could look at this turquoise all around here. All right, turquoise is a healing stone. The funny part about this is before I even looked into this, before I even tapped into this research, I had this turquoise necklace sitting close to my altar, and I just haven't really wore it a lot this year, right? And around Sunday, something just told me to wear it. You know, put it on. When you go to work, just throw it on under your t-shirt. I still have it on right now, you know, to be honest with you. And I've been wearing it the last couple of days, and I did some research on this today, and I was like, oh shit, you know? So again, there's no coincidence, there's only confirmation, right? So if you have some turquoise, let's just look at this. It says one legend suggests that throwing a piece of turquoise into a river will bring rain. Well, it looks like that's what happened. It looks like that's what happened in Egypt after storms. Okay, there was heavy rain and flooding along with snow. This article doesn't mention the snow, but heavy rain and flooding. Now, I'm not saying someone threw turquoise in the river, but what I am saying is Scorpio is a water sign. That's a fact. All right. And Taurus is an earth sign. That's a fact. So water covering the earth in one of the most ancient, most technological, most spiritually advanced, most scientific, most mystical, most magical, most militarily protected at the time, most strategic, right? All the things you could say about Kemet, quote unquote, Egypt. The fact that this happened here is not a coincidence again, all right? Turquoise was a sacred stone to many Native Americans. Medicine men used turquoise in their healing practices, often carved in the shape of animals. Turquoise was placed in tombs believed to guard the dead and invite protected spirits, okay? So it's believed to guard the dead and invite. So it's not only protective, but it invites protective spirits. So this is what we are looking for. And again, this is the time period when this lunar eclipse is happening, where the veil is also going to be thin between the underworld / inner world, between your metaverse, your own metaverse, which is really the astral. We just had the astral world thing, right, Travis? The astral world, right? And even the day that this new moon is hitting, right? Well, that's me. I want to see Earth, Wind, and Fire. Yeah, I wasn't supposed to see that. But anyway, another stone you could use is lapis lazuli, right? Lapis lazuli looks like it's a purplish stone for the throat chakra, right? And I could just tell y'all about this, but I want to just prove it. So the healing powers of lapis lazuli, they vibrate in tune with your electromagnetic field. They vibrate into your electromagnetic field and help you realize the importance of self-care in your emotional life, okay? So if you have issues with body image, you will hopefully already be aware that constant self-criticism is very damaging to your emotional and mental well-being. Okay, what's your self-talk like, right? That's a big thing with a lot of us, including myself. How do you talk to yourself? What do you say about yourself? Not just when you're doing rituals, not just when you're listening to a lecture, not just when you go to church, not just when you go to the mosque, not just when you are listening to a debate. What are you saying to yourself on a religious basis? When you wake up in the morning, the first thing you should be doing, that first 15 minutes, is programming your day. Is visualizing the greatness that your day is going to be. Is visualizing how successful, how peaceful your ride to work, how peaceful your day on your computer, how peaceful you starting your business, how peaceful your marketing plan, how great your goal is going, how great you're going to feel when you go to the gym, how great you're going to feel when you pick up your kids, how great you're going to feel dropping them off, how great you're going to feel cooking dinner. This is you creating this is what the preacher was trying to get at. But he's hitting you with the truth and the lie at the same time. This is faith in things unseen. But it's not if you put the right emotion to it and you know what you're doing and when to do it. These are things you do when the lunar eclipse hits. So you got to set up a plan. You got to write it out, right? You got to have an idea of what you're going for. This thing hasn't happened in 100 years. I'm not making this up. Look at it. There's more pictures. And it looks a little bit like a scorpion. Neuron looks a little bit like a scorpion. How about that? Look at it. It looks a little bit like a scorpion. And this is in your brain, folks. So you do that, right? First 15 minutes, you visualize your day. You affirm your day, right? You visualize your day first and foremost, because you're in that theta wave state, which is the most hypnotic state. That's the first 15 minutes of your day. Then the second part of when you wake up, when you go into the bathroom, right? Because you're going to go pee, whatever. But that might be the first thing you do, right? Still on the toilet, whatever. Visualize your day, right? Then the second thing you do is you go in the mirror and you affirm yourself. When you're brushing your teeth, you know what I'm saying? When you looking at yourself, when you grooming yourself, when you putting your wig on, ladies, when you doing your hair, you know, when you putting on your waist trainer, right? Right? You're going to affirm yourself. You're going to affirm yourself. You're going to talk up yourself. You could do it out loud. You could do it in your head, right? As long as it got some motherfucking passion, just like when the preacher talks. You want to feel it for your own self. You want to create your own self. So that's discharged energy of creating a new multiverse, of creating what they call in science new neurons. And neurons that fire together, wire together. Okay? Neurons that fire together, wire together. That's a common neuroscience principle. All right, so let's go into, we're almost done, don't worry. So lapis lazuli, this is what it looks like. Blue stone, throat chakra, what do you say about yourself? Your self-talk, right? Your self-talk is very important. Don't negate that, but how passionate you are about what you say about yourself and the emotion that it carries is even more important. So lapis lazuli will help you. Turquoise will help you as well, right? If you have these stones or if you're available, this doesn't start till Friday. Maybe, you know a local stone shop, somebody where you could get this. And if not, it's okay. These are just supplements. These are just supplements. All right. Let's see. Why did I pull this up? Oh, even if you do, let's get, well, Let's get out of this real. Nah, actually, let's stay with this. So, and I just want to, don't be so, people want to wake people up so bad. People want people to gain this type of knowledge so bad. People want people to get out of Christianity, and people want to save the world, right? Well, don't think you're so holy, right? Are you willing to give up your computers, your smartphones, and your tablets? Because this is what's happening. People are, like it says, millions are killed over computer parts, and it goes on and on. You're not as holy as you think you are. Your clothing, most 9 times out of the 10 is made in Taiwan or it's made in China. Your shoes, your sneakers, right? They're made overseas, made by child labor, where they're working long hours in sweatshops. Don't think you're so holy. Don't think you're so divine. Are you willing to give up your smartphone so that nobody in the Congo dies? Are you willing to go back to life as it was without a motherfucking smart TV? Think about it. And I just want people to really understand that you got some shit with you too. You're part of some shit too. You know what I'm saying? People talking about blood diamonds, but every woman still wants a diamond when they get married. People still want the new iPhone when it comes out. But people are being slaughtered. And these are people, everybody's pro-Black, Black power, Black Lives Matter, FBA, ADOS. But are you comfortable, right? You're so blackety, blackety, black. This is going on. People getting their arms chopped up. These are people that look like you, right? This is how they living. This is the child. He's working in the mine somewhere. And this is probably a good picture, sanitized for this particular article. You look at this number, 45,000 people die per month in the DRC. Tiffany said she'd do it. You're one of the few. But I guarantee there's not many others. There's not many others. And if I'm honest with myself, I can't say, and the main point of bringing this up is to say you cannot save the world. You cannot save the world. Create your multiverse for you. Stop focusing on trying to save everybody everywhere else, in Palestine, in Haiti, and even in the Congo. Now, if you're an activist, great. Like, that's your thing. Be an activist, but don't be a fake activist. Don't be an internet activist. Like, if you're going to go to Haiti, go to Haiti. If you're going to go to the border where the Haitian migrants are, go to the border. If you're going to really fight for freedom and fight for justice, become a lawyer, get a law degree, right? Go through the real process and fight for justice, like Thurgood Marshall did, right? Don't be no half-ass, behind a keyboard on your smartphone, blacking out your page for Blackout Tuesday or whatever that shit was in 2020. Like, don't be no fake ass activist. If that's your real calling, that's your calling, then go do that. But if that's not your calling, and you really know you're here to make, the best crocheted hats that the world has ever seen, you're here to make the best art, the best music, you're here to build a better computer, you're here to build GPS like the sister did, you're here to build a smartphone like some of our brothers did. And I'm talking to the melanated beings, you're here to build, the washing machine, the street light, you're here to build a refrigerated truck, right? You're here to build the next cotton gin, you're here to build innovation, you're here to build like Nipsey Hussle's chief CTO, his chief technical officer. He was the guy who built the search engine on Instagram, right? A Black man. If that's what you're here to do, fuck what's going on outside of that. You could have empathy. You could send $1 donation. You could feel for them, but your focus should be on your purpose. Your focus should be on your multiverse. Your focus should be on your family. Because guess what? We're being run by families who are focused on their family. You're being run by JP Morgan Chase. That's somebody's family. You're being run by Bank of America, which is run by a bunch of Italians. You're being run by Ashkenazi Jews who tell their children when they are little and can them businesses when they're like 16, 17. This is part of the culture and part of the plan. You're being run by families, last names of pilgrims and descendants of pilgrims. Wells Fargo, Rolls Royce, Porsche, Mercedes Benz. These are people's names. Versace. This is a person, a dead person. Gucci. These are people's names. They're not focused on saving every Italian. Versace and Gucci, and these are Italian names. They're not focused on saving every Italian person. They don't care what happened to the Sopranos. They don't care what's happening to the mafia. I promise you. They don't care about the sick kids in Italy. They have a purpose and a legacy to leave behind. And I'm not saying don't care and be heartless like they are. What I am saying, you can't help the poor if you're one of them. And I'm not talking about just financially poor. They could be emotionally poor. They could be socially poor. They could be poor in power, poor in intent. And you can't help them if you're so focused on helping them that you're not helping yourself. Now, another thing you can do, I talked about this last video, I won't go into it, get your bag fed, okay? There's different notes, frequencies, get you some Bach, get you some Beethoven, right? Listen to these frequencies the next couple of days. These frequencies are called classical music. You can also listen to these frequencies just on YouTube, but I like classical music. I think it's better, right? In the morning, you can listen to it after work. You can listen to it during the day if you're working from home. If you're running your own business, put it on in the background. Watch what happens during the season. It'll tonify different parts of your body. You know what you need to work on. Don't just do the crown chakra shit when you know your emotions. You can't handle your emotions. You just emotionally jump to anything. Anything you see on the news, you just tapped in. You need to listen to the key D more. This is like, these are the seasons really you want to tap into these, to the Fed part. Your heart chakra. How do you connect with people? How do you connect with others? Right? Because you want all this money, you want all this abundance, but nobody likes you and you don't like nobody. How's that going to happen? How are you going to get money when it takes people to give you money, right? You want all the spiritual power, but you're overly emotional. You're angry all the time. You're stressed all the time. You're hostile. You're negative all the time. And people say something good, you're the person that brings them down. You're the person that talks about it, right? Sacral chakra. You got sexual issues, sexual hangups, right? You don't do foreplay with your girl. You don't hold her after you guys have sex. You know what I'm saying? You don't hug her when you're in bed. You know, she ain't coming. Shit. You just busting a nut and you ain't even really, and sometimes you ain't even coming, bro. Like your sexuality is fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Sexual organs, your relationships, right? You might need to listen to the key of D. Only you know what you need to work on, all right? Your root chakra, you know what I'm saying? Fight or flight, you nervous about anything, bad anxiety. You don't want to go this place. You don't want to do that. Everything is, you're anxious about every single thing. You got anxiety issues. You're on all type of drugs. For anxiety, you might need to listen to the key of C. Don't just go to the crown chakra and the third eye chakra because you want psychic abilities. No. If you know you need to work on these things, this is the season where you work on these lower chakras, build them up so that you could power them through the heart chakra, because that's what it is. It's an upward mobility, just like the Nile River rises up. This is how the Nile River within you, which is your spinal column, which carries spinal fluid or cerebrospinal fluid, or what you call Kundalini energy, and puts it up into your third eye chakra, but it starts from the bottom up. So let's heal, y'all. Stop playing. All right. Classical music is out there. You know, there's baby Mozart and all that they tell you to give your kids when they're little. But then now that we're grown, we get away from the classical music. And guess who's listening to the classical music? These pilgrims that you claim that you hate, that's putting these videos out, that's misleading your kids, that got your kids working for their kids. Your kids working for their kids. Shang-Chi Decoded is coming. I'm going to do another video on Thursday. Right before, it's going to be a briefer video. Right before I might record it and just put it out. Probably won't be alive, but we'll see. Depends how spirit leads me. But I'm going to do Shang-Chi Decoded. If you are going to sign up for that, I'll announce it on Thursday. It's going to be a Zoom, but it's going to be off. Or it's going to be strictly on Zoom because, you know, obviously I can't stream this on YouTube. But we're going to just go through the movie. It's probably going to be like it's going to be pretty long, probably 3 or 4 hours. So buckle up. But we're going to go through it. A lot of symbolism here. It's going to be very cheap, probably 11. I'm not going to go too hard. Life's been good to me lately, so I don't have to. Oh, that's my email. Y'all can't see that. See, do I have anything else for y'all? Nah, that's pretty. Oh, so let me get into the spell. All right, so I'm gonna give y'all 2 spells and I'm out of here. I'll give y'all these 2 spells and I'm out of here. All right, so, and I'm doing this just so you can get prepared for Friday morning. So if you want to do, and we shouldn't call them money spells anymore, at least I'm not. I'm going to call them abundance spells because that's what we're really looking for. You're not really looking for money. You're looking for abundance, overall abundance. Sometimes your abundance doesn't come in the form of money. Today was a very abundant day. I met my my mushroom plug. Shout out to my mushroom plug if you're watching. I met my mushroom plug and I got my mushrooms and she threw some extras in there, which I didn't even know. But I knew when I got the package, it just felt a little heavier than normal, right? But she hit me off. Right after I went my mushroom plug, I went to get lunch. Got lunch. I was like, yo, I need some roasted chicken in this, you know? I was eating really light. Usually when there's full moons, my body, I don't really eat a lot. So I was eating, but I've been working out as well. So I ate a little more today. So anyway, doing some extra chicken, no charge, free, boom. So, and then today just was this week has been very prosperous at work. I do sales for a living, right? So it's just been a lot of sales been hitting out the park. So that's been going well. So things, this season's been good to me, I must say, in a lot of different ways. And I've been breaking a lot of spells, a lot of curses. Also, ladies and gentlemen, if you're smoking a lot of marijuana, I want you to go back to the point to what made you start smoking marijuana. If you're a drinker and a heavy drinker, I want you to go back to the point where you first started drinking in your meditations. If whatever your vice is, figure out why you started it. Figure out what the genesis of it. If you eat a lot, right? If you're always having sex, if you're always jerking off, right? If you're always masturbating, if you're doing something on a consistent basis that is depleting you, if you smoke cigarettes on a religious basis, go to the genesis of why you first did it. 9 times out of 10, you will find your trauma there. You will find the source of your trauma there. I know for me, I was in a pretty bad relationship earlier in the year that I thought was going to be great, but it turned out to be, well, I don't even want to say it was bad because it turned out to make me what I am right now, which is a motherfucking problem, right? Motherfucking problem, and a problem solver, right? But when I was going through that relationship, I was smoking way more weed than I was. I kind of had the weed thing under control. But, you know, when you go through things, you kind of go back to what you know. And I also wasn't home. So I didn't have the resources, you know, to deal with things the way I normally would. So anyway, I was smoking. And I came back here with that particular habit as well. But I was smoking heavy. And I didn't really see it because I was still doing rituals. I was still meditating, you know, 3 to 4 times a week, but there was still something in me that I had to really purge. And I realized, oh shit, I started smoking weed because of what I was going through with my mom. Between getting kicked out, between being, told and talked down to in certain ways, right? And bless her, you know what I'm saying? She didn't know how to handle me. I'm a Scorpio, I'm a weirdo, I'm a nerd, but I'm also, got street smarts. She didn't really know. I'm my only son. My pops wasn't there like he should have been, right? So she didn't really know what she had or how to handle me. She was doing the best she could with two other kids as well, and a house to take care of, and her own financial success to take care of her, And I had to come to a place, which I've done that also during the year, of forgiveness, of the things that I went through with her, and also the things that I went through with my own father, right? To come to my own place of healing and to give you guys this particular lecture to be able to talk about it and not feel bad. You know what I'm saying? Now, when I talk about them, I've already harnessed it. I've talked about this in old videos. I've already attached and remixed the whole memory of the bad stuff and made it good stuff. So now when I think about it, I think about good stuff and not the bad stuff. And that's what it's about, the energy and motion, right? So you're not in fight or flight. So you're not, whenever you're stressed, whenever you're depressed, whenever you're anxious, you lower your IQ, you go into fight or flight, the blood goes from your head to your body, to your hands and your feet, and you're not able to navigate the world with your frontal lobe, right? With your cerebral cortex, with your frontal lobe, which is your decision-making and reasoning faculty. And that's what you want to be utilizing out here in the world, because people are out to get you. It's a dog-eat-dog world, as the great poet Snoop Dogg said. So anyway, let's get into these spells. So abundance spells, right? Not money spells, abundance spells. As I've told y'all before, the best candle that I like to burn, and this is kind of a secret that I'm giving to y'all, is Ruda, R-U-D-A, Ruda. If you could get to a Botanica, if they have Ruda, get it. If you could order it, get it, okay? Even if you don't get it by the full moon, right, still order it, get it, all right? You can just look online, R-U-D-A. When you're listening to me, you should be taking some notes, because I'll be dropping some stuff, all right, that you can't just retain. Rue, R-U-E, Ruda, Rue, same thing, okay? Bayberry, okay? These are the 3 candles you want to use in your money spell. Your abundance spell, right? Because there's different forms of abundance. If somebody flies you out, right? You get flued out, you didn't pay for it, that's abundance. You didn't need money for that. Somebody gives you a car or gives you this or gives you that, you didn't need money for it, right? Why would you, like Kanye said, I'm flying from place to place. If you look at the Kanye West Drink Champs video, he was showing you that people are the money, people are the bag. Having connections with the right people, that's the abundance, people. So that's why people do marketing, because they're trying to tap into more people, right? So Bayberry, Ruda, Rue. You could add to these particular candles, bay leaf, cinnamon, and nutmeg. What you do with this particular, if you can't find it, just get a green candle. All right, but get a green candle. You want to add the herbs, because you want to add a little hoodoo with it, right? Especially during this time. So the hoodoo is the herbal magic. So the bay leaf, just get the green candle with bay leaf, cinnamon, and nutmeg. You're going to write a petition, put it on the bottom of the candle. A petition is basically whatever your wish is, but don't tie it to like, yo, I'm gonna get the Bentley, son, and I'm gonna be dripping with my ice. Know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be in my G5. Know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be flying my private. That's all great, but is that your purpose? Now, if your purpose is to be a musician to get there, that's different. If your purpose is to be an architect to get there, that's different. If your purpose is to be a window cleaner, if your purpose is to be the best janitor out there, if your purpose is to be the best manager at McDonald's, don't let nobody judge you for what your purpose is. If your purpose is to be the best activist, whatever your purpose is to get there, that's where your abundance lies. Your abundance is not going to come just from a job, just from being the best garbage man for New York State sanitation, just for you being the best train operator for, for the SEPTA, right? That's not, yeah, these might be decent paying jobs. You're a great electrician, you're a great plumber, you're a great carpenter, right? You're great at your construction gig, but that's not why your sperm hit the egg. Your real abundance lies in why your sperm hit the egg. And why your sperm hit the egg may be a side hustle. And maybe you're great at the guitar. Maybe you're great at the piano. Maybe you could make people laugh while you're still doing your main gig. And maybe you're doing YouTube channel like Rob Blackstorm, you know what I'm saying? And helping people help themselves. Totally up to you. But this is where your abundance lies in your purpose. So what purpose and what do you need to strengthen? What do you need? What needs to die? But with your abundance candle, you're basically just going to direct it to strengthening your purpose, strengthening your business that's going to get you there, strengthening your side hustle, strengthening your main hustle, strengthening your whatever that is apart from your normal 9 to 5. Now, if your normal 9 to 5 is your purpose, then you're going to strengthen the connections with your normal 9 to 5, et cetera, et cetera. All right. And this is the way to do it. Gain a raise, be promoted, et cetera, et cetera. Crack the glass ceiling, those type of things. And last but not least, this is the vice killer. All right. I've done this myself. And I've given it to somebody who is worked for, where they not even doing, what I'm saying? They were doing like some heroin, and they're not even doing heroin no more. You know what I'm saying? And they did this. We had another eclipse this year, or previously, I forget when it was, but yeah, they were totally off it. They're like, yo, I thank you. So, and I've used it myself for, cigarettes and different things at the time. So, and I'm off them cigarettes too. And I've slowed down significantly smoking weed. In fact, it's like, I'm not going to say I'm never going to use it, but if I'm in a social setting, more than likely, if I'm in a romantic setting, I will use it. But as far as like on a day-to-day, just come home from work, nah, those days are over. Those days are over. I don't like my brain feeling foggy anymore, but everybody has to take, I don't know, I'm not judging you if you're not there yet, but everybody has to get to where they need to be. And some people, they don't have no brain fog. They good. They're so high strung, they just need it to relax. I get it, I understand. CBD and all that, I understand, I'm not judging you. But look into yourself. You know who you are. You know what's going on in your life. You know where you want to be. You know if you're there or if you're not there. But this spell will help you get there, right? You light this candle. So basically, you're going to light the candle and you're going to leave it lit for as long as possible. If you do have to put it out, don't blow it out, because blowing it out is basically spirit. Spirit means breath. Spirit also means wind. So blowing it out is kind of blowing out your attention. So if you have to, clip it, clip it with your finger. Get one of those implements, a tong, put it out like that if it's too deep, but you don't want to blow it out. Second, so this is the vice killer spell. So the vice killer spell, this is very simple. Get a black candle, right? And you want to get one of those glass candles. Look something like this, right? You want to get a glass candle. All right. Vice killer. It's going to be a black candle. You're going to get some sage, right? You can get the sage off the sage stick, or you can get, the sage separate. They sell it separate in a little baggie. Just go online, type in sage, you'll find it, right? You're going to sprinkle some of the sage on top. All this stuff I'm telling you, you're going to sprinkle on top. You're not going to overdo it. You want your wick to burn. You want your candle to burn, so sprinkle a little bit, right? Sage, this came to me just tonight when I looked it up. Burdock root. I showed y'all this before, Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs. Burdock root, cat's claw. Okay, if you could get your hands on some cat's claw, that's great. But the two main ingredients you need is burdock root and sage. Not burdock root. You need just the black candle and the sage. If you could get burdock root, even better, right? And cat's claw. But the black candle and the sage will still do the trick, especially during this full moon. And candle costs you like how much this? The price was here, $2, right? You get a black candle for $2. And this is New York. Probably in your state, you get it for $1. And the same thing, you put a petition on the bottom of your candle, or you create a sigil, right? Some of you should already know what a sigil is. If you don't, we'll cover it in another video at some other time. And with that said, I am going to take my ass to bed. But I'm going to let me go over these one more time. So your abundance spell is going to be a Rue Bayberry candle. You could also get a Ruta bath. You can get a bath with Ruta or Rue leaves, and you could take a spirit bath with that. Okay, create the bath. You're going to put it in a pot, boil it, right? If you want to boil it and you go in the bath with all the herbs, you can. You don't necessarily have to. If you don't want to go through the process of cleaning all that shit out your shower, you could boil it, let it cool, go into the bath, just literally strain out the actual, let it sit for like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, so it gets dark, and then strain it out in your bath water. You want to wash yourself up first, so shower up, or if you're in the bath, clean it. I don't know how people like take baths. To me, it's always, anyway, I'm not going to get into that. But if you clean your ass first, right? Get the dirt off yourself. If you get the dirt off yourself, soak up in the bath, sit in there for like 15, 20 minutes and project your intention. You know what I'm saying? Speak, have some music playing that you like, some instrumentals, some binaural beats, some jazz, some classical music, right? To get yourself in the emotion of what you're trying to manifest. That is tied in with abundance. So you can get a Rue or Ruta bath. They have those in a lot of botanicals, or you could order it online, right? And so, yeah, so Rue, Ruta, Bayberry. They also have Bayberry incense, root incense, Ruta incense, bay leaf, cinnamon, and nutmeg. All right. I don't recommend you putting bay leaf, cinnamon, and nutmeg in the bath. Well, I'm not going to say I don't recommend. You can do that. You can make that your spirit bath. If you just don't have the finances, it's okay. Don't break yourself trying to do these spells. You know what I'm saying? It's, at the end of the day, the universe is mental. And the second is the vice killer spell. So black candle, sage, okay? Sage is pretty accessible. So anybody can get sage. It's not that expensive, $5, $6, $7 maybe. A black candle, again, $2, So those are the two main ingredients. Also, what you want to do in your candle is get a little knife and use one word, not a whole bunch, not Rolls Royce, not, Bentley, not, Mercedes-Benz, G. You're going to get one word that or two, whatever fits in the candle that you could carve, and carve it as well as the petition, because you're doing it as above, so below. So the petition you're going to slide under your candle. You can put it on a Post-it or a big piece of paper, whatever you want to do, right? Whatever your vision looks like. And whatever your vices that you want to kill. So if it's smoking, put no smoking, put smoking's over. If it's overeating, if it's over-sexing, if it's a bad relationship, right? Whatever your vice is, whatever you're addicted to, the black candle is basically going to absorb the energy of that, right? It's going to basically absorb that energy. Also, what you want to do with your black candle is you want to sprinkle some salt around it. It will be great if you have critters and shit like that, right? You don't necessarily have to put actual salt, right? You could put something that symbolizes a salt protection barrier, but salt is ideal, right? In particular, kosher salt, like something like, I don't have it in here right now, but something like a Morton's or something like that, kosher salt around the black candle. You don't need to do that for the green candle. But if you can't, still, it's about the intention. Again, the universe is mental, all right? And with that said, I'm out. Peace, bomb, prosperity, everybody. One love. And I hope you have a wonderful night and a wonderful morning if you're watching the replay. Peace. I'll see y'all Thursday.